Welcome back to Book Break. For today's video, we have actually drawn inspiration from our comment section. We are doing a video that was requested by one of you. So a few weeks ago, we posted a video called The Most Talked About Books on BookTube so far in 2020, and I will link to that video below so you can go and check it out. But today, we are following up on a comment from Sayers Martinez, who asked to see a list of the books that were still popular, but not quite so much. We were really inspired by this comment, so we went straight back to our spreadsheet and looked for the books that were still really popular, still beloved by booktubers so far this year, but not quite so hyped that you're already sick of hearing about them. This is our list of BookTube's hidden gems in 2020. And what's funny is it's not always the new releases that get all the love on BookTube. In fact, one of the authors who has been talked about a lot so far this year is Jane Austen. Everyone from Simon Savage to Murphy Napier to Olivia's Catastrophe have been revisiting these books this year, showing they really do never go out of style. Not exactly a hidden gem, I'm sure you have heard of Jane Austen before, but it's interesting that when often we equate BookTube with getting very excited and overwhelmed with all of the brand new releases, it's interesting to see that a lot of booktubers are actually taking a step back and going back to visit an old favourite. The next book on this list is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin, and we saw this one talked about by people like Mayona Reeds, Elias and Reagan from Peru's Project. And interestingly, a slightly older book by N.K. Jemisin called The Fifth Season was one of the books that did make our list of the most hyped books so far this year. This book, The City We Became, is her brand new release. It's about 5 New Yorkers who have to team up to defend their city, and it's already hurtling up that list. I'm sure by next year we will find it's one of the most talked about books on the whole of the internet. The next book I saw mentioned in videos from Paperback Dreams, Emma Tobias and more, and that is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. I also saw the second book in the series, which is called Take a Hint, Dani Brown, mentioned quite a lot as well, and there is a third book in the series coming next year. So this series is about the Brown sisters, and in this first one we meet Chloe Brown, who is a chronically ill computer geek with a goal, in fact a 7-step plan to get a life. And so it's a really fun book as we follow her set out on her mission to tick off all of the 7 things on her list, and it also becomes a really lovely romance along the way too. Another beloved author on BookTube this year is Elizabeth Acevedo, so her books Clap When You Land and With the Fire on High were mentioned in videos from people like Lena Norms and Leanne Rose. Clap When You Land is a novel in verse about 2 girls who lose their father in a plane crash, but the twist is they never knew about each other's existence before, so the book is about their grief but also about their growing relationship with each other. And With the Fire on High is about a high school student who has a daughter. So she lives with her abuela and she's raising her daughter and also going to school, and the only place where she feels like she can let go of all of these responsibilities is the kitchen. She has a real passion for cooking. So if you love books that are also about food, this one will be perfect for you. Watching videos by Lily Eleanor Reed and Lauren on the Books, I saw a lot of mentions of It's Not About the Burqa, which is a collection edited by Mariam Khan. So it's a collection of essays written by Muslim women all about their experience of their faith and how it fits into their lives. And as the title says, it's not all about the burqa, despite how they are portrayed in the media. So I absolutely loved this one. I found the essays fascinating, moving, funny. It's about so many different aspects of life as a Muslim woman. You won't be surprised to see Such a Fun Age on this list by Kylie Reid. This book is now on the Book Along list, and so I'm sure will become even more hyped by the end of the year. But so far I saw it talked about in videos from Miranda Mills and Harriet Rosie. This is another book that I have read and absolutely adored. It's about a young black woman who works as a nanny for a very rich white family, and it's largely about the relationship between our main character and her boss, and the very complicated dynamics of race there. Her boss, Alex, is a white woman who is determined to prove herself as a good white ally, and this becomes more and more uncomfortable as the book goes on. My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell is a book I saw talked about by April from Getting Hugger With It and Mercy's Bookish Musings, among others. This is a very dark and very emotional book. It's about a woman who, back when she was a teenager, was abused by a teacher, and now in present day, more girls, more students are coming forward to say they had the same experience. But where it gets very complicated and very upsetting is that our main character, Vanessa, re-remembers and reinterprets this experience that she had as a child to be a lot more consensual than it really ever can have been. So it's a very complex portrayal of abuse and power dynamics, but it's very powerful. And then finally, the last book on this list is Red at the Bone by Jacqueline Woodson. This was longlisted for the Women's Prize, so I saw it in videos from a lot of the booktubers who do tend to review the Women's Prize list, so everyone from Lauren and the Books to Lauren Wade to Simon Savage. This book explores 3 generations of Black American history. So in 2001, we meet a 16-year-old girl called Melody who is having a coming of age ceremony wearing this beautiful dress that was actually designed 16 years earlier for her mother to wear at her own coming of age ceremony, which never happened. And so we get the history of Melody's parents and grandparents and explore this family history, and particularly look at the ways in which young people so often have to make huge life-changing decisions long before they even have decided who they are and who they want to be. So I hope you enjoyed this. It was really fun actually to go back to our mega spreadsheet of all the books we've seen talked about so far this year on BookTube and find the ones that didn't quite make that top list but have still been beloved by a lot of booktubers so far this year. And do leave us a comment if you have any other video requests you'd like to see from us, because we're always open to taking your suggestions. I will link to that original video I mentioned here so you can click through and browse if you missed that one, and we'll see you soon.